right, we're live. I thought Peyton was frozen for a second. I was like, what the hell? It's probably not good for YouTube algorithm saying it.
No, I'm just
2 seconds.
I was reading the fantasy group chat.
Oh jeez, dude. What an epic group chat. Been very active today. Very active. So what's up, everybody? What a week one. I just want to start out and preface that I am so happy that college football is back. We had an amazing slate of games. Good games, bad games. We had weird games. We had field rushes. We had all kinds of crazy stuff going on in week one, and I could not have asked for a better start to August or September, I guess, leading us into September with an epic weekend of football, and just happy that football is back. Happy that we have stuff to talk about because we haven't done a full season of this show yet. So we started it last year at the end of the year. But just so freaking happy that stuff is starting to come about, and I'm just excited for this season. And we already get the chat in here. We got Cam in here. Shout out Cam.
What's up, Cam?
What's up, Cam? What's up, Cam? We got the Dynasty League going on this year for the first time. Shout out the Dynasty League. I'm excited for that. That'll be interesting. For those of you who don't know what a Dynasty League is, it's basically like it's a fantasy league, but instead of like it just being 1 year, we're going to go on for like however many years we can. And you do like rookie drafts in May and stuff. And so you get to do all that stuff. So we also got Corey in the house. Check it out. Let's go. Hopefully we get some more people in here before we get really in the weeds here.
Wait, I have some.
Oh, yeah. Who you got, Peyton? Special guest?
So, Edgar?
Bro.
Oh God, he's running.
Who would have thought Peyton would have a freaking cat right now, dude? What a weird side quest Peyton is on.
I have two.
The father of 2 cats. Dude, it felt like yesterday we were in the dorms talking about how funny it would be if we had animals.
Here's the other one.
I have a fish in my fish tank. I can go show my fish tank. It's not in here. There's the third stooge. Good question, Cam.
As long as it's not a poor little bass that came out of a retention pond.
Hey, dude, that bass had a great life, dude. It was stuck in the same.
Not.
Dude, yes, it was, dude. It was hand-fed food every day, bro. It could have jumped out. If you didn't want to be there, it could have jumped out. There was no top on that tank.
It really could have, and I guess it never did. Its life probably began when it died, when you put it back in the pond, though.
Nah, dude. I bet you that thing ran around the pond and got so freaking tired that it just passed away. It was like, I forgot what freedom felt like. Also, for DNR who's watching, I caught it in a cast net in the pond. So there you go. I put it back, though. I apologize. I didn't realize that was not what you're supposed to do, but that's besides the point. I guess we're settling in now. I guess people are here. Good deal. Well, Peyton, how was your week, man? How was your weekend, bro?
I mean, it was a really good weekend. My week so far has just been work, but the weekend was great. Dude, those games were insane. Every single one of them were crazy, man. I mean, obviously, except for like Marshall and Georgia, but Yeah, but I think as a Georgia fan, though, I feel like I had no expectations. It was just nice to sit down and watch Georgia football like I used to, and I agree with that. In the weeds about it and like freaking out. And Georgia played football; they didn't play with their food, and they just won the game outright and didn't screw over and mess stuff up. And it wasn't like they were trying to do too much. They were very vanilla, but when you're able to win 45-7 and not have to open up your playbook, that's a good win in my opinion. Even though they played Marshall, and shout out the under on the point spread there. Shout out 55.5. I knew it. I called it. There are 30. What are they, like 30-1 against the spread when it's Georgia or Marshall?
Like 30 points or more. Georgia's always. I don't think they've ever Georgia will be favored like 33.5, and then they just never cover. They always or like I guess total points. Excuse me. When the point spread is like that, but they covered. They covered the 30. No, they didn't. They didn't cover the 33.5. So I guess continuing that. Even the spread, they're like 30-0 or something stupid. But okay, guys, we'll start with the top 25. I've changed my top 25. I've been thinking about this And thinking about a lot of things that happened over the weekend, okay? And I'll just highlight a couple teams as we kind of go through here. Ohio State moving up to number 1. I feel like everybody can get behind that and not really like upset about it. I felt like Penn State didn't impress me against their cupcake team, so I'm not going to reward them with continuing to be number 1. I mean, Ohio State won a game at home, and to me, in a little bit of a dominant way. I didn't feel like Texas even had a chance. The scoreboard may not show that, but I felt like Ohio State just played better and they were the better team. So shout out Ohio State for getting the job done with a new quarterback. And yeah, so Ohio State goes up, Penn State drops down. And then we have two new teams in the top 5. And I'll start with LSU. What did you think about LSU's game going into Death Valley and whooping that ass at Clemson? What did you think?
I didn't really watch the whole thing. Yeah. I watched the first half, kind of. And I think I was surprised. I think I was actually really surprised that LSU won that game at the end. I can't really speak for quarterback play or offensive play, honestly, just because I only watched so little of it. But
right,
I was still very surprised that LSU won. I really thought that Clemson was going to go with that, especially at Clemson. So, I mean, I was very surprised. I'm glad to see it, but it was pretty surprising.
Yeah, and I think LSU should be rewarded for that win, going away and putting up. I mean they were robbed of a touchdown if you watch that, but I feel like 24-7, dude. That's a convincing win in my opinion, and puts them in the top echelon of teams this year. I think it doesn't really I'm not oh, Clemson's falling off, and I'm not going to overreact as well. I'm trying not to overreact about that either. But like what Noah said, I like what Noah said. I think LSU's defense did look really nice. And I was going into that game thinking that Clemson's defense was going to impress me, which I mean they did. They played well against a veteran quarterback and stuff like that. But I feel like the takeaways that LSU's defense from a year last year that looked pretty rough, and last year they had no defensive line. They had they were having edge rushers and offensive linemen play backup D line. And so I feel like seeing LSU make that improvement and taking the next step and making their defense better and using Harold Perkins as Harold Perkins should be used, that was a really nice sign. And if I'm an LSU fan, I'm happy. I'm excited. And I think, they have the whole season's ahead of them. I think they can do whatever they want if they keep playing that good. So shout out LSU, good win on the road in Death Valley, and they get to claim Death Valley as their stadium being the real Death Valley. Moving on to Miami. We had Miami ranked 20th in our top 25 rankings. I know this is Peyton didn't really collaborate with me on this one specifically, but we kind of collaborate a little bit on the original one at the start of the season. And I feel like out of all the teams that I was underestimating, I underestimated Miami. And I think it was just honestly, I wanted to watch Carson Beck play horribly, being a Georgia fan. So I had to put my bias away. And I think from a football game's perspective, Miami played really good football against a Notre Dame defense who's returning a lot of starters and, played really well. And Carson Beck looked good. And I think Miami should be rewarded for that win, even though it was at home. I think that was the first time I've ever seen Miami pack their stadium out. Did you notice that, Peyton?
No, not really.
I watching the game, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Miami Stadium is loud. Do they pump audio into the stadium? Because I've watched a couple Miami games where it's no one's there, no one's watching.
Yeah. Well, what I will say about Miami is that number 10, their receiver, I think he's a true freshman. That kid is a dog. That dude is
he's good, dude.
I can't remember.
He's a little shifty slot guy. He's insane.
Yeah, I can't remember what his name is, but he is crazy. And Carson Beck still made Carson Beck throws. I kind of didn't really I didn't really hate watch a single game this week because I was just so excited that football was back. But I still noticed that Carson Beck was still doing I guess kind of the same things. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe not really. There are just some balls that, like, obviously you can't be perfect, but like there are just some that were a little too high or a little too low. It's the same thing Arch Manning did, you know. And I'll say the same thing about Carson Beck. I think he'll be fine. The same way I think Arch Manning will be fine. I mean, at least Carson Beck won, I guess. But at the end of the day, Notre Dame's secondary, I think they're like okay, but I don't think they have great depth. The only reason I say that is because I heard the announcer say it. But
they're right though.
If the announcer says it, that means it has to be right. So
for sure,
if they don't have that much depth, and I think one of their DBs got injured that night, I don't know if that bad or not. But
wasn't it their best one? I think it was their best DB got injured for a second or two.
I don't know, but I think Carson Beck is going to be fine in the same way that Arch Manning will be fine.
I just wanted to see him throw the football and throw with a little bit of mustard behind it because, I mean, if you watch baseball, that surgery can be detrimental to a baseball pitcher's, like, entire career. Yeah. And so it can take, like, 5 or 6 years off of a pitcher's, lifespan in the MLB. And so I just wanted to see Carson Beck go out there and throw 90s, like 90-mile-an-hour fastballs. Like, I wanted to be able to see that, and I felt like we saw a little bit of that. And I saw a lot of throws that were caught that would have been drops at Georgia, like the one-handed snag. That would have been an overthrow, and it would have been picked off. And we would have been slandering Carson Beck on TV that he sucks. So I just, as a Georgia fan, I'm happy to see him playing well. That I want to see him play bad. I did kind of in the beginning, but shout out Carson Beck. He played good. Miami played good. They moved up into the top 5, in my opinion. And Georgia stayed the same. We don't have to talk about that. I mean, there's other games we can talk about. Oregon stayed the same. They played, Helen Keller School of the Blind. And Texas losing at Ohio State. The Shoe's a hard place to play. I'm not gonna like punish Texas too much for that loss. I feel like they have the whole season ahead of them again. I don't want to overreact yet. But if they lose another game similar to this one, I think they should be punished for it. And if they continue to play weirdly, and I do want to say a couple things about Arch Manning that were really weird. And I know we have a lot of other Georgia fans or people who follow Georgia closely. And if you guys remember Jake Fromm's senior year or the year before he left for the draft, there was a weird, like, oh, let's go. I want to shout out Mr. Ballard Sports is here. Christian is here. Shout out Christian. What's up, man? Glad to see you in here. Y'all go follow him on YouTube. He's got an awesome channel. If you guys missed a couple episodes ago, we had him on the show and talked about our quarterback rankings for the SEC. So fitting that he comes in here in the comments and as I'm talking about a quarterback. But Arch Manning, if you guys remember Jake Fromm's senior year before he left for the draft, I don't know what was going on with his throwing mechanic, but he kept having these weird, like, he would just like do these weird like flicks and it would never get there enough. And there was a weird, like, okay, well, the year before that, he was like getting the ball there, stepping into his throws. I don't think Arch Manning stepped into a throw the entire game. Like, he would do like a 3-step drop and set his hips down, and then he would do this weird like flick motion the entire game. And if you go and watch, like, there was a throw over the middle on a drag route, and he stood there, and instead of like turning his body and like, because like they talk about in the NFL, like when you throw the football, you want to keep your shoulders like this, like flat on the same plane, and you want to throw like across your body, and like that'll help you get the ball to the drag route. Well, he did that, but he was flat-footed, and was not pointed at the target, and he flicked it, and it went behind him, and like it was an awful throw. I don't know what's going on with this mechanics, but I'm worried for that. I don't know if it was a conservative game plan or not letting him throw the football enough. I don't know what's going on with Arch Manning, but I'm not going to overreact about it because if I see it next week, then I will. But I hope he steps into the throws more. I feel like he was missing out on some throws that I saw him make last year that he didn't make in the Ohio State game. So shout out Texas. What do you got?
I mean, like, I understand throwing mechanic or like defense has nothing to do with throwing mechanics, but at the same time, it's Ohio State's defense. Like, it's a good defense.
Yeah.
They did look very like horizontal, is what I would say they looked like.
Yeah.
And
they weren't over the top at all.
Yeah, I don't really know anything about QB play, but I know that Patrick Mahomes is the only person I've ever seen throw a sidearm consistently and work.
Yeah. Well, like my thing is if you're going to throw the sidearm, you have to throw the sidearm in a way that benefits the route. So if that makes sense at all, like from a quarterback perspective, on a drag route and you're throwing over an offensive lineman or through a window of the offensive line as the play is breaking down and the pocket like gets around you, there's windows, right? And so like if you're going to throw, like I was saying before, if you're going to throw a drag route and it's going to the right, you want to put your foot kind of facing the right and you want to throw it across your body. That's fine. But he didn't do that. He was flat-footed. His 2 feet were like facing the route. And so he wasn't able to like follow through the normal way and it went behind him. Do you see what I'm saying? Like he followed through, but it was to the left. If his foot was pointed to the right, it would have followed through to the right, if that makes sense. So I hope that makes sense to people, but I follow quarterbacks. I throw the football a lot. I'm not saying I'm an expert by any means, but I do focus on quarterbacks as kind of my indicators for offenses. So that's kind of where I specialize in. But it was weird. It was weird. I'm going to move on from that. We're going to go to Arizona State. Arizona State played a no-name team, played good. So I rewarded them for that. And South Carolina played Virginia Tech, started off really fast. First drive of the game, marched on the field, scored. Lenore Sellers looked great. I felt like in the middle of the game, he stopped running the football, which was weird. Maybe the offensive coordinator was like, slow down, don't run or something. I don't know what was said. I don't know. So don't take my word for it. But South Carolina looked good. Their defense is a question mark for me still. It'll be interesting to see what they do against better talent. I think Virginia Tech's not that good. But Notre Dame, we already had at 10, and I felt like because of everybody else moving up and down, I felt like 10 was a good spot, and I'm going to leave them there. Maybe we should have had them ranked higher, but again, I was going into the season seeing that quarterback question mark. That was my big question mark, so I had them at 10 already. I'm going to leave them there, right? Clemson moves down. They lost at home in kind of almost a blowout fashion. I don't feel like they really even had a chance in that game. Cade Klubnik played He had another opening game where he was like playing all right. He's never really like striked me as the player that I would rely on to go win them a football game, if that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but he had a couple moments last year where he played good in the last 2 minutes. So maybe I'm wrong. Corey says, don't sleep on South Carolina. I agree. I'm very high on South Carolina, but their offense is going to have to play harder with some of the holes that the defense has and some of the inconsistencies the defense is going to have. Now, I think South Carolina's offense can go through the SEC pretty easily. Maybe not the top echelon of teams, but South Carolina's going to be good this year. Lenore Sellers will 100% be a top 15 draft pick next year or the year after, whenever he leaves. So they have a good quarterback, which has not really been South Carolina's forte is quarterbacks. So that's kind of crazy. I'm trying to get through this faster because we do have some other things to go over. So I'm trying to be fast, but not like I've snorted cocaine before this. Iowa State, they're rolling with what they're giving, like what the games they have, they're rolling. So Iowa State's playing good. Their quarterback's really good. Illinois, I felt like Illinois was right where they needed to be. They didn't play anybody crazy, so I'm not going to reward them with anything else. They're going to stay at 13. Bama, I dropped to 14. So people are probably like, oh, James, they shouldn't even be ranked. They lost to an unranked team. Listen, week 1, overreactions flood every TV, right? Every TV's overreacting, whatever. I'm not going to overreact. If it happens again, then I will come on here and drop them further. But I think dropping them from 8 down to 14, that's fair. That's like hey, we're going to drop you, but we'll see. I don't think you're better than Florida. I mean, I don't think you're worse than Florida. I think Florida's worse than you. So why should I drop them below Florida, right? In my opinion. So right now, Bama's at 14. That could change, right? It could totally change. Florida, I dropped down a little bit. They were at 12. I know they beat Long Island, whatever, but Peyton, did you want to touch on Alabama?
Not necessarily, other than the fact that I just think people aren't looking at Florida State as seriously as they should be. Like,
I agree.
I mean, yeah, Bama probably shouldn't have lost that game, but I think Florida State is a way better team this year than they were last year. And I think instead of people looking at how bad Bama lost, I think they need to look at how much of I mean, people probably wouldn't call it a valuable win for Florida State because of how bad Alabama played, but
Alabama had chances to win that game, and
that's what I'm saying.
They didn't look good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not like it was completely out of reach blowout game the whole time. It was like Alabama had multiple opportunities, But
I mean, look at this. Like, if Bama played anybody below them and played that shitty, how many teams below them would beat them?
Well, I think Florida
other than Michigan, other than maybe Florida would beat them. I think that's fair. But other than Michigan and Florida, I don't really see anybody down the board that would, I think, beat Alabama, even though if they played like shit.
I mean,
also, history will repeat itself. What did we learn from week 1? Weird shit happens, and teams figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, there's
still chances for them to figure it out.
I was gonna say I'll give them the same benefit as the doubt as I'm giving Miami and Texas. Like, again, I know Miami won their game, but
do it again.
Being Miami,
my thing is, okay, you won, you did good. Let me see you do it next week, and then we'll talk. Like, what is that?
Take care.
All right, let's see. Noah says Alabama has lost their grit. 2 years ago when they were down, you could tell they always had a chance to come back. Bama looks like they have no confidence. I like that take.
I agree.
No, I like that take a lot. And if we see them play with their food next week or this weekend or the weekend after, the rankings will show that. But for right now, I'm gonna leave them where they are. But I think that's a good take, and we're gonna have to come back to that later on down the board. I think Alabama, I think their floors, is it weird to say that their floor this year is 7-5?
Yeah.
Is that a weird thing to say?
I understand it's week 1, but dude, that is the worst I have ever watched Alabama play in my entire life.
If Georgia and Bama played next week, I would take Georgia by 2 touchdowns, probably 3. I'm
taking Georgia regardless of if they played next week or in the last week of the season.
Yeah. So. And that's even still with Georgia having the weird Alabama mojo.
Yeah, I still think that's always a factor, though. I really do genuinely think that Georgia could still lose that game, even if Bama plays terribly for until that game. I still think Georgia could lose that game just because it's Bama.
Yeah,
but
I agree. I'll be there. Go Dogs.
But where are we at? Florida? Yeah,
we're at Michigan.
Or Michigan. Okay, Michigan.
I moved Michigan up. They were like 20. I feel like they played good. They played really good. I saw a couple things from Bryce Underwood that surprised me, even against a cupcake team. I felt like he was very decisive, which was weird because I most of the time freshman quarterbacks are kind of I don't know what to do, and they kind of mess up. But Bryce, I think, played good. I'm going to reward them for a little bit of good stuff. SMU, I don't think they're a top 15 team right now, so I'm going to move them down and let Michigan slide in there. It makes it kind of an interesting game with the Oklahoma game looking right now. I'm looking at Corey's chat right now. Let's see. Nick Saban's first season at Alabama was 7-6. If you look at Bama's schedule right now, they have the same chance to repeat the same record. Don't believe the hype. I like that, Corey. I think they could go 7-5, and I would sit here and laugh. And I can't wait. I hope they go 7-5.
The only thing is that this isn't Kalen DeBoer's first season, but dude, if he does worse this season than he did last season, what kind of conversations are we having then? Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Go back to Washington.
Yeah.
Go back to Washington.
I mean, I don't know if you can say they're actually going to have a worse season this year, but it's just like, dude, the quarterback. Like, I understand Jalen Milroe may not have been amazing.
Yeah, but how many times did he bail them out?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, as shitty as he played, he bailed them out
Exactly.
multiple
That's
times.
what I'm saying, and I just don't. Dude, Ty Simpson did not look like he could do something like that.
No, not at all. Like Bryce Young, dude, I was terrified every time Bryce Young played Georgia. You know why? Because that dude would go out and bail them out.
Yeah.
Look at the game against Auburn, marching them 99 yards down the field and winning the game on his back. Like, it's crazy. Now, I agree with Corey, though. Unfortunately, his buyout is $70 million. So until Alabama pulls that out of the dirt, he's going to be here for a while, and we're going to have to continue to talk about hot seat. But we'll move on to Ole Miss. Ole Miss, they've been playing cupcake team. They played a cupcake team this week. They're playing Kentucky next week. So that'll be an interesting game to watch and kind of get a better gauge on Ole Miss. I know Kentucky's not good either, but it's still an SEC opponent. So Indiana, I moved down so I can move Michigan up. Indiana is playing cupcake schools, but I think, they're playing football, I guess. I didn't really watch their game this week. Texas A&M also playing cupcake teams. Like, these are just filler spots right now for the next team that I want to talk about, and that's Oklahoma. I'm not going to overreact because they played Illinois State, but John Mateer looked like everything that was advertised.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Bo Nix, who was a little bit heavier, not as fast, but made good throws and was able to move around and make stuff happen. And I think that's what Oklahoma needs in a quarterback, because that's what Baker was. That's what Kyler was. That's what Jalen Hurts was. Like, we forget about those offenses at Oklahoma. And I think Oklahoma needs a quarterback that's a gamer, right?
Yeah.
Like, that has the swag to go out and play good football and win them football games. So shout out John Mateer. Everything is advertised. We'll see what happens in SEC play. So they got rewarded moving up from 24, but we'll see what happens in SEC play. What do you think, Peyton? You agree?
Yeah, I agree with that. I didn't watch the game. I saw his stats though. Who'd they play? Central Arkansas?
No, they played Illinois State.
Or Illinois State. I'm reading Cam's thing right now.
Yeah, me too. I like what Cam said. They're going to keep him for 2 or 3 more seasons. His thing is that they don't, they have the talent, but may not have the coaching to help bring the players' potential up. And I think that's what happened with Nick Saban. Like you look at the coaching staffs around the league. The only other coaching staff that I could see where there's a coaching tree, like Kirby came from Nick Saban. You have, Jimbo Fisher came from, Nick Saban. All these other, like Dan Lanning, I think had a little bit of was there at Bama at one point, I think. But I think the only other coaching roster that we could see do that is Kirby's roster. And I think that's why Kirby won the SEC last year, was because of coaching. And if you have great talent and you don't have good coaching staff, you're not going to get everything out of those 5-star and 4-star players. So I like what Cam said. That's a great take, Cam. That's a really good take. And I agree with that very much. Louisville, I didn't watch their game, so I didn't move them. I'm just going to preface. I want to talk more about the last couple teams because I'm growing some hype for a team that I think is going to be kill my dreams next week, but it's okay. Texas Tech, they have one of the most talented rosters in the Big 12, and they mesh together. And like we talked about, coaching staff. Can we get everything out of those players that are brand new to the program? Who knows? We'll wait till they play Big 12 teams, and then we'll talk. I think that's fair. Florida State, 24. Peyton, you want to start? What you got? You like that? You think it's crazy?
I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's that crazy. I would even put him at 22. Like, I would take Louisville, put him at 24. Does Louisville even need? Does Louisville deserve to be ranked?
Yeah, they're good. I think they have over 75% of their roster came back. and they're all starters.
Okay, well,
and they replaced Tyler Scott.
I would still move Louisville and Florida State just because of how good I think Florida State played against Alabama. I don't really know if Alabama's defense is supposed to be as good as it has been before, I guess. But
blue chip ratio,
I was going to say, but either way, I mean, I know I was saying before anything above 2-10 would be an improvement for Florida State, but winning against Bama in week 1, number 8 ranked Bama, by the way. I think that's crazy for Florida State. And like I said before, I don't think people are talking enough about how they won and too much about how Bama lost because, like I said, anything better than 2-10 is an improvement for Florida State. But I really don't think anybody thought that Bama was going to lose that game, regardless of who Florida State would have gotten through the transfer portal or in recruiting or coaching, regardless. I don't think anybody would have thought Florida State was going to win that game.
We'll look at it on our picks from last week. We didn't think – none of us thought FSU was going to win.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But I think Thomas Castellanos is indeed the answer. Yeah,
shout out Waycross, Georgia. He's from Waycross, which is kind of crazy. But I ranked Florida State, and the reason I ranked them at 24 was because we don't know if Alabama's that bad or if Florida State's that good. And so I wanted to punish Bama for losing, but I wanted to reward Florida State with winning, but I didn't want to rank them in the top 15. I think that's wild. Like, you see the A people, I think they're ranked like 14 or 12. What the heck? What are we doing? Like, and then they dropped Bama to 20 or like 22. What are we doing?
I mean, I get it's week 1, no overreactions. Bama played terribly.
Yeah, I know they did, but they would still beat almost everybody on their schedule, even playing that shitty.
I mean, yeah, I don't think you're wrong. It's just like
I could be wrong. It might happen. They could go lose to Helen Keller School of the Blind this week. Who knows?
I don't know.
That'd be hilarious.
What about Kansas? What do you think about Kansas?
Kansas has been the most impressive team that I've watched. And I know it's been cupcake. But from a team that was written off at the beginning of the year, I think they deserve to be ranked. And it's perfect because I have honorable mentions down here, right? And I have Missouri. That matchup is this week. Missouri, Kansas. They're unranked. I don't think they're ranked in the AP polls. But both of these teams want to be ranked. So let's go see who should get ranked. Kansas, Missouri. It's an old rivalry that we don't get to see much anymore. I think that's going to be an awesome game. And it could be 45-30. Honestly, that game could be way over on the points total. That's going to be a really good game to watch if you're available to watch that game, if you want to watch something interesting. But I think Kansas is really good. Their offense is just like no hiccups, just boom. Just right back where they left off when Dalen Daniels was, healthy last year. So if you can stay healthy, they're going to continue to go up the rankings for sure.
No, I like that. I agree with that. I didn't really watch Kansas play or Missouri, but I like Jalen Daniels last year.
Yeah.
I knew he didn't play that good. I thought he was going to do good last year. So hopefully he does good this year.
Yeah. I think he will. If he stays healthy, he'll be fine. But honorable mentions. I don't want to overreact about UCF beating Boise State, but UCF absolutely dominated Boise State. Dominated. I watched that entire game, and Boise State did not stand a chance. USF's defensive line is the most underrated defensive line in the country. If you go back and watch that game, oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. It's insane. I know, they may win the American and they may go to the playoffs. I'm not going to say that right now, but if they played as well as they did against Boise and they continue to do that, they're going to win the American Conference with no questions.
Winning the American is very feasible. Going to the playoffs, I don't think so.
Well, they've already beat Boise State, so if it was a head-to-head, they would get in over Boise. So who else are you going to have in there?
This is Boise State without Ashton Jeanty, the only reason why they did that good last year.
Yeah. But they were ranked, and if Boise State wins the Mountain West, who are you going to put in the playoffs an 11-1 USF who beat them or an 11-1 Boise State who they lost to USF.
No, I mean, I see what you're saying, but I just don't think USF is going to do that good.
I know, I'm kind of clickbaiting USF, but I agree, Cam. I agree. This is going to be an awesome game. It's going to be great. It could be an absolute – we could look at the halftime score, and it could be 3-0. Or it could be 21-28 or something ridiculous. We'll have to see. But that's a really fun game. I'm excited. I think that was at 4:15, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like kind of in a weird spot. But it'll be – you can flip back and forth between the Georgia game and USF Florida. So shout out USF. Good win. Auburn, good win. I'm not ready to crown Auburn a top 25 team. It's Baylor. I know Baylor is good, but I don't know. I feel like Baylor already kind of showed us their hand with their defense. If you're going to allow 400 yards on the ground, you're not that good. Like, you're not a top 25 team. So is Auburn really going to be rewarded for – I don't know. I thought that Auburn played well. This is why I put them in honorable mentions. But Missouri, cupcake school, we'll see what happens. So that's the top 25. Of course, Kansas State and BYU got dropped out. Kansas State lost. BYU is not really impressive. I don't know why, but they're not. So that's that. You can screenshot it. You can flame me. Any content is good content. So I'm going to remove that, and we're gonna go here for a second. As Peyton, you want to talk about anything crazy while I set up the next thing? Anything you got? Anything you gathered from week 1 that you want to talk about?
Nothing off the top of my head. Like, the first thing that comes to mind would be Carson Beck, I guess, but there's not really anything to address other than the fact that I think he'll be fine. I think he's going to do better than he did last year because he's in the ACC now. Like,
right.
If you have to, like, if Miami has to go, I don't know if they play Notre Dame, UNC this year. I don't know if they do, but UNC does obviously has zero D, that. I know we had a whole segment on Bill Belichick's elite D. I think the time has come. Belichick's D is no longer elite. It's just it's outdated. That's how I would describe it. It's just outdated.
I'm gonna have to pull the clip from last week when you guys said, James, you're gonna go against Bill Belichick and his elite D, and I said yes. And I said TCU.
When the D is like, it's just like when you have D that's elite for that long, it's kind of hard to doubt even over time because it's been elite for that long.
Well, and like no amount of Viagra is going to help that D. It's just not elite.
Yeah, probably not. I feel like it just comes down to coaching at the end of the day. But, like I said, Belichick is Belichick. He could produce elite D. He has turned soft D's into hard D. So who knows what's going to happen, It just I think we just need to let the season continue right on, see what goes on.
Their offense looked terrible, by the way.
Yeah, they did, other than the first drive, but,
What have we learned about first drives in week 1? I remember watching the South Carolina first drive, and I was like, oh, shit. They're about to blow out Virginia Tech. And then I stared at the scoreboard for 3 quarters, and it was ass. The game for 3 quarters was just back and forth bullshit the whole time. I do agree with Noah, and I didn't really get to touch on it much, but that TCU quarterback is a baller. The way he throws the football is kind of nice. So watch out for TCU's quarterback. And UNC, I want to touch on this for a second. I want to shout out Max Johnson, legend in Athens, okay? Broke his leg last year against Minnesota, completely shattered his leg. They were going to have to amputate his leg, and he said, no, I'm going to play football next year. Got back into rehab with a freaking metal rod in his leg and had to come in there and play good football for UNC and march down the field and threw it to his brother Jake. So shout out Oconee. Shout out Warriors. It was really nice to see that, and I was cheering for him. I wanted them to make a comeback, but
Yeah.
their D was not elite, so it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
But I have the next thing ready to go. You ready, Peyton?
Yeah.
All right. So these are our picks from last week. James, Peyton, and Austin got the Clemson game completely, utterly wrong, as did the Alabama game. Completely whiffed. Peyton and Austin thought Notre Dame was going to win. I said Miami would win. As much as it pained me, I said it, and I was right. Shout out Miami. Thank you. I said Texas was going to win. You guys were right about that one. We all said Tennessee would win, even though I thought Syracuse might cover, which they didn't, unfortunately. I said South Carolina would win, so did Peyton. And Austin said Virginia Tech would win. Sad. We all said Boise would win, and we whiffed on that one too. We all thought Georgia Tech was going to win. We got that one right. You guys thought North Carolina was going to win. I thought TCU was going to win. And our first week, I come out with 5-4. Peyton went 4-5, and Austin went 3-6. Now Austin's not here, but he did give us his picks. Okay, he did give us his picks, and so we are going to go check out what we think is going to happen. Dude, what?
I said spread, Lord, spreads, bro. Get out of here. They're already in there. They're already there.
Well, this is what he said. He said he would take Illinois in the 2.5. He would take Iowa State, I guess, in the 3.
I didn't know those were his picks. I didn't know those were his picks.
Yeah, those are his picks, I think. I think those are his picks.
Okay, I see.
But Peyton, you ready to give the picks? You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Illinois at Duke. Illinois is favored by 2.5. What do you think?
I know as much about Duke as I do Illinois, and here's what I know about Illinois: absolutely nothing. So give me Duke.
Okay. I don't hate that pick, Peyton.
It's quite literally a shot in the dark. I don't know I know Malik Murphy's not at Duke anymore. I was at Oregon State.
Right. Duke could be Dookie. Who knows? I got Illinois on this one. I feel like this one's pretty easy there. Iowa State. Iowa State's favored at home 3.5. Oh, geez. This one I've thought about for a while. I think Iowa State's going to win this one.
Is Iowa's defense good this year or no?
They played fairly well, I thought. I think their offense is going to be what's going to smother Iowa.
Who did they play in their first week?
Oh, I didn't put State. Do what? Oh, Jesus. Can't use Excel. What's up, Peyton?
Who did they play in their first week?
Iowa State played Kansas State in Dublin in the first week. You got Iowa?
No. Who did Iowa play?
Cupcake.
Yeah, I'll take Iowa State.
All right.
I think Rocco Beck played really good against
I think he did too.
Kansas State.
I think he's playing really good. Holy smokes, Austin, what are you on, dude? He's got Baylor, dude. What?
They did well. I mean,
can't do it.
They did pretty good against Auburn. So
they did play well. I think their tight end's really good. That Trick dude, he played really good football.
SMU. I'm not gonna lie to you. As much as I love SMU, I just don't know if they have good seriously. I don't know if they have a good defense or not. So because of how good Baylor played against Auburn last week, I'll take Baylor too.
All right. Kansas at Mizzou. Oh, this one's going to be painful. Missouri's favored by a touchdown at home, which tells you really Kansas is a 4-point favorite. Really Mizzou's just a 4-point favorite if they're on a neutral field. Which also tells you SMU's a wash, which is crazy. I'm going to go I'm gonna go Mizzou. I think this is when the
me
Kansas
too.
train dies.
No, I'm gonna go Mizzou too. I don't even know that much about Missouri or Kansas, but I just think because Missouri is Missouri, and I mean they're used to like pretty decently good teams, I guess. I'll take Missouri.
All right. I have Florida here.
I do too. I don't even need to talk about this.
I think USF covers. I'm with Austin. I think USF covers. I think that's crazy to say out loud, but I don't think it is either at the same time.
I don't know as much about spreads as y'all do, but I still think Florida's going to win.
Your brother picked Mississippi State. I'm sorry. I think Mississippi State covers. Yes.
Yeah, I gotta take Arizona State.
I think Mississippi State's going to cover. I don't think they're going to win though. Michigan, Oklahoma, at home. I got Oklahoma winning this one.
I'm going OU. I think touchdown. Oh, wait a second. How good is Michigan's defense?
Played okay.
But against a cupcake team.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna take Oklahoma.
Okay.
I think it's up to like Bryce Underwood to win that game, maybe. And I mean, if that's the case, then
away to freshman start.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is really, that's very much so a disaster waiting to happen, in my opinion. But it could be him, so who knows? I could be completely wrong. I got Vanderbilt as well. I think Vanderbilt might destroy Virginia Tech. I think that's crazy to say out loud, but
I might take Virginia Tech only because I get that South Carolina's defense is not supposed to be that good. But do you think South Carolina's defense is better than Vanderbilt's?
No.
Whoa.
But I think Diego Pavia wins the game for them. I mean, I think Vanderbilt could walk into Virginia Tech and it'd be like, I don't know, 17-17 in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left. And Diego Pavia marches them down the field, do a field goal, and then he goes and kicks the field goal and beats them. Like, that's how confident
Diego Pavia kicks the field goal and beats them?
Yeah. I think Diego Pavia kicks the field goal and beats Virginia Tech.
I'm going to take Virginia Tech just because I want to go against you.
Okay. That's a good move though. I don't think we have to talk about this at all. BYU. I just needed one more game for the week. So there are our picks, right, Peyton? You want to go BYU?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll take Stanford, but then I remembered Stanford is Stanford.
It's not the same when Christian McCaffrey goes to the NFL, and it hasn't been the same since he left.
Yeah.
But there are the picks for the week. Well, Austin agreed with us on some of them. The Mississippi State one is glaring.
What did he say on the rest of that? He said, "I will be hopping up the VT bandwagon, still not sold." Is that all he said?
Still not sold on South Carolina, though. I love how I just scrolled to that. And then he took Vanderbilt in the points. Yeah, he really wanted to hide that over there, dude. Nice try, Austin. I was going to scroll all the way.
I like these picks, though. I don't think I would change any of mine.
I'm not going to change mine at all.
Yeah, no, I'll stick with mine.
Trying to think of anything else to talk about. Anybody put a question in the comments. We have about like 10 more minutes or 20 minutes. No, 10 more minutes. Put some questions in the chat for me and Peyton to answer. Type lords over here. Type faster. Dude, what are you laughing at, Peyton? Are you reading a
Nobody's saying anything. We're just sitting here waiting for nothing.
No, I know. Okay.
Heisman candidates?
I think Cam has a great Cam just gave us a really good opportunity to overreact. I think after week 1, John Mateer is my Heisman candidate. Is that
That's
crazy?
not crazy. No, that's not crazy. After week one, no.
Yeah, with Lenore Sellers, DJ Lagway.
Well, I mean, he kind of just, if like you said, if we're overreacting and going off of only week one in terms of like quarterback play in the SEC, maybe even nationally, I guess. I don't know. I think he played the best.
I think so too.
Dad wants to know what our feelings of the new SEC or the new schedule in the SEC going to 9 games. I mean, James had to explain it to me the other day.
I think Peyton just cut out.
Kind of wish these teams.
I think he cut out for a second.
Huh?
Did he cut out for a second? Oh, he cut out for a second.
I don't think so. I don't know. Like I get that you're supposed to fix it, but I mean, unless there's only nine teams in each conference, which is never going to happen, then it'll never happen. But I just wish these teams would play the same teams every single year and not like different out of conference opponents, which again, like I said, I know this is supposed to fix that, but at the end of the day, I don't really know if – I don't know. I mean, I like it, but I just think – is it going to add an extra game or no? To every season?
No.
It's just going to be –
So instead of playing 4 out-of-conference games, you'll play 3.
Right, okay.
And so, like –
I guess I like it, yeah. I like it.
Because the Big Ten's already playing 9, and I think from a perspective from the SEC, they were kind of holding back on 9 because the SEC is so good, and the SEC kind of killed themselves last year by playing even just 8 games. So if you play 9 games, you have an extra loss, probably. Oh, I'm freezing up? Oh, geez, we're frozen. The stream is totally ruining itself. How are we doing? We better?
I think so.
See, this is why you guys need to go donate to my Cash App so we can do so I can upgrade my Wi-Fi and so I can upgrade the StreamYard to 1080p.
Yeah.
If you guys want to see 1080p instead of grainy bullshit, we'll upgrade. We need $250 for the year. So shout out. That's our money goal for the year. But going back to the 9-game thing, in an ideal world, without talking about my ideal college football landscape, my ideal SEC schedule is playing 9 games and going back to a geographical division. And I think the only way you can do that is if you, like, I feel like you should. I don't know. I want to go back to divisions just because I liked. There was like an East versus a West. Like there was a rivalry between every single team, and now it's just a rivalry based off of like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it because we're not going to get Georgia, Texas for another 4 years. By the way, like playing in the regular season. But if we had divisions, we would have them playing more. I feel like, and you add an extra game. I don't know. You have 8 teams. You have 8 teams in your division. Huh?
Why are they not playing for another 4 years?
Because that's the way the schedule works.
Oh, okay.
So like,
I guess that's what I was trying to say.
But if we went to 9 games, like it'd be similar to that.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess, but like that's what I was saying earlier. Is like it's annoying that it's just not every single year you're playing the same people. Like I get it's not supposed to be like that, but
yeah,
like Georgia, Texas is supposed to be a good game.
Yeah, but I mean, does Georgia want to play Texas and Alabama every year? No, probably not.
That would be great. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but if you lose one of those games, they're going to take a Big Ten school that lost less. I don't know. Like, it's just weird. It's just weird. If you want you know what? I'm going to break up. I'm going to go ahead and destroy college football for you. Here's a question for everybody. Agree or disagree with relegation? If you guys watch soccer, the Premier League in Europe does relegation. And so, like, you have tiers. And so, like, if you win, like, you have the SEC and the Big Ten being the best conference, right? Those two are the best conferences. Then you have the ACC, the Big 12, and then the rest of them. right? With the Sun Belt being at the bottom. Okay, let's say Arkansas State in the Sun Belt wins the Sun Belt 2 years in a row, or 2 out of 3 years, and they're ranked for 3 years, right? A top 25 team for 3 years. Don't you think they should be rewarded and move up to the next conference? And then if you're a shitty team like Vanderbilt in the SEC, you get relegated down. And now you have all of the top schools in the SEC and the Big Ten, and then you're playing those 9 games, and you literally have Georgia versus, let's say, let's see, you would have Georgia versus Texas, Georgia versus Alabama, Georgia versus Oregon, Georgia versus Michigan. You'd have these teams in the regular season, and then you play a 16-game playoff with 2 teams from a relegated school. I don't know. Corey says he doesn't see the logic. The money is too much of a problem. I agree. That's the one thing that won't change about college football, and we'll never be able to see through it, is that everybody's greedy and everybody wants money, and money talks. So if you guys want to see 1080p, please give us $250. See, my camera can do 1080p, but it won't let me because of StreamYard. It's annoying. But and I would be able to put my logos in here and make it our own stream. So shout out $250. I agree, Corey. It probably won't happen, unfortunately. But I think getting more SEC games is going to be good for the schools. It's going to be good for the SEC and the Big Ten. And now with the Big Ten and the SEC are back on an even playing field, so there should be no more Big Ten. We play more games than you in the SEC, so we should get more bids in the playoffs. So that'll stop, hopefully. But any more questions from the chat? We can probably take one more question. I guess here, let's see. Yeah, go and put your question in the comments. Do one more question. This is true. I like what Noah said. I like that. But I miss the South Carolina rivalry. I mean, I don't right now with Norris there, but I miss playing South Carolina every year. It was a fun rivalry. People underestimated that rivalry. Ask Aaron Murray. He hated playing South Carolina. All right, Noah.
Love them.
All right, Noah wins. Noah wins with the last question of the day. What do we think about UGA running backs? I think we're 5 deep, dude. Pause.
5. I think all 5 are good. Are we 5 deep? I don't know. Just because Brian Robinson is quite literally always injured. I think he's dealing with a hamstring thing right now.
Roderick Robinson.
So, or Roderick, not Brian. Roderick.
What about the Illinois guy?
Is that Phillips, number 20?
No.
Who's
he's
that?
Built just like Roderick Robinson. I can't remember his damn name though.
Are you sure it's not 20? Because I have no idea where number 20 came from.
Dwight Phillips. On the roster. Dude, Dwight Phillips had a touchdown in the Florida game last year. He had an end-around touchdown. He's a walk-on.
I don't
Dwight
remember
Phillips
that.
Is an absolute legend, dude.
Well, what's crazy is that he looked the best out of all of them. So
Yeah. Well,
I think he had a really good
play running back whenever he wants. We have so many running backs.
I think Chauncey Bowens had a good game. I think Phillips had a good game. I don't even know if Nate Frazier. Yeah, but I was going to say Bo Walker played. I like Bo Walker a lot. He might be my favorite running back on Georgia besides Nate Frazier right now.
He's 33, right? Bo Walker?
Yeah. No, 24.
Shout out No Sean Marino. 24. That's my next
for the longest. Nick Chubb wore 24, but then I remember he wore 27.
He needs to bring back 27 on the Texans. He'll go crazy again. He changed his number. That's what happens when you go to the NFL as a Georgia running back. If you change your number, you blow out your knee. Cam, that's a good point, dude. We do have a lot of walk-ons. And, now the way that college football is landscaped, the walk-ons are, not feasible anymore. But Georgia has a bunch of them. It's weird. the walk with all the money and like the roster spots, like walk-ons are basically like non-existent. But Georgia has like 5 or 6 of them, and they all play meaningful snaps. Cash, Dwight Phillips. I think there's a couple walk-ons on the defense, maybe on special teams, but yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode. What do you think, Peyton? You got anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, nothing. Nothing off the top of my head. Not really.
I'm excited to do our SEC quarterback list later on in the season and readjust it halfway through. But wait,
no.
did you want to talk about like an upset alert for a team?
Upset alert?
Yeah. Give me an upset this week. Do what?
Who do I said it'd have to be one singular team.
Yeah, just one team.
I don't even know who plays this week. Austin Peay against Jordan. No, I'm just playing.
Look at this list.
Hold on. Wait, yeah. I mean, I guess I'll take Duke over Illinois.
Okay. Mine's Florida.
I'll confidently. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I'll confidently say Duke against Illinois.
Noah's on crack.
Georgia State beats USC, or Georgia Southern beats USC. I like that. I think that'll happen too. In fact, like I just said, I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'll say it confidently so that way people think I do. Duke is going to beat Illinois for the sole reason that Illinois does not deserve to be number 11, and Georgia State or Georgia Southern is going to beat USC because Miller Moss is no longer at USC, and USC is just going to USC at the end of the day. They're not that good. Fresno State
spite you down.
Iowa may give Iowa State a run for their money. See, that's what I was trying to figure out earlier too, Cam. But I still think Iowa State is going to win that game. But I guess my upset this week is Duke at Illinois. Illinois at Duke.
Mine is Florida. Florida's got to be careful.
You think USF is going to lose to Florida? That's so crazy to me. I just don't see it happening. I mean, I know Dad just said it earlier.
No, this isn't like – I'm not saying they're going to. I'm saying this is –
I know. I'm just saying, like, I can't even imagine a reality where that happens. That's not even feasible.
I can.
In my mind.
I can, and this is when Sunbelt Billy gets fired. Oh, that'd be so funny, dude. I would laugh. And there goes – no, this is what's going to happen. USF's going to blow out Florida 35-0. And then Sunbelt Billy gets fired, and DJ Lagway sits out for the rest of the year and doesn't play a single snap this year. You want my overreaction? There's my overreaction. I hope I can AI clip that for YouTube.
People are probably going to think AI made that. That's the craziest take I've ever heard in my entire life.
I'm just fucking around. It's the end of the show. But that's going to do it again for this week. I'm excited for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate everybody coming in here and hanging out, and share it with your friends, like, subscribe. And if you are a potential home buyer here in the state of Georgia, I am a licensed real estate agent. I have 2 open houses this week, one on St. Simons, one in a $1.1 million mansion. So if you want the details, let me know in the comments. And yeah, Peyton, I think that's going to be it.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be it for me.
Everybody take it easy. Appreciate it.
Goodbye.